Hello, this is Howard Fox, host of the Career Focus series on the Success Insight podcast. I want to welcome you to Career Focus Q&A. Our guest today is Anita Jenke, the Executive Director of the Career Transition Center of Chicago. Now, Anita joined us this year on the Career Focus series for episode 87, which was published October 25th, 2021. We received emails from individuals who listened to the episode, and they had questions for Anita, who has been gracious to come back on the show and share her answers and insights for our listeners. Anita, welcome.
Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
Anita, question number 2, what can companies do to prepare their staff before the layoff occurs?
I think the first and most important thing is to be transparent. In many cases, companies do have the time and know that their financial situation is getting tight. And I think it's important to communicate with employees throughout the process that things are a little tough. I know that employees understand during the pandemic how rough it was. So it's not like it would be a shock, but I think, out of your integrity, communicate with them and let them know and make it clear to them, this is not about performance. This is about, we're in an economic situation where we have no choice. And make it clear to them that this is a last resort, that you've looked at options like, management taking a reduction in pay, maybe reducing people to part-time and keeping the benefits going. Just let them know that you care. I think that's one of the things you can do in preparation. I also think, out of respect for the employee, be prepared and do your due diligence. Make sure that when you meet with them, you figured out the outplacement piece. And I think that's mandatory. I think employers need to and must do that. There are a lot of options out there. There are nonprofits like us. There are independent coaches that'll do outplacement. There are the big companies. But I think it's really important that you have that. Make sure you have the COBRA paperwork, the layoff letter, everything that they need packaged up in a folder so that it's turnkey and they don't feel like they have to keep coming back to you to get things in dribs and drabs. And then I think the next 2 things are really important. When you conduct the layoff session, sit down with the employee. And if it is handled professionally and with compassion, it'll probably reduce the anger and the resentment. And there are things you can do to prepare. Read articles, think about the times you've been laid off so that you can come at this in a place where you can be of support and help to them with good boundaries. And then I think it's super important to be prepared to talk afterwards about the layoff to the rest of your workforce, because there are going to be rumors, there's going to be anxiety, people wondering who's next. And I think, again, transparency. We had to do something very difficult, as you know, because of our financial position, but we're committed to going forward with our current workforce. We believe we can hold the line here. We have ensured that all of our people laid off got outplacement, and they've got what they need to move to the next step. And, we encourage you to be of good support to them. And I think those are the kinds of sort of things you can do, those sort of 4 biggies that I think could really make a difference in how people respond to a layoff.
Anita, thank you for your answer and for joining us for Career Focus Q&A.
My pleasure.
Folks, you can learn more about Anita and the Career Transition Center of Chicago by visiting their website at ctcchicago.org. We'd also love for you to add your likes and comments to this short post, and also to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues as well. You can also visit us online at successinsightpodcast.com, or you can search for Success Insight and follow us on the leading podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. Take care now.